In the cutthroat, high-stakes arena of professional hockey, where the Stanley Cup is the ultimate obsession and every roster spot is a precious commodity, how infuriating must it be for a franchise like the Toronto Maple Leafs, perpetually operating under the crushing weight of win-now expectations, to find themselves in a precarious position with a promising young asset? Is it not a maddening paradox that a team desperate for every edge might be forced to let a valuable player slip through their fingers, all because of an organizational logjam? The clock is ticking, the pressure is mounting, and a recently signed Maple Leafs prospect has suddenly emerged as a prime trade target, sparking a conversation that could redefine how Toronto approaches its relentless pursuit of glory. The Toronto Maple Leafs are not just a hockey team. They are a cultural phenomenon, a city's unwavering passion, and a franchise burdened by decades of unfulfilled promise. With a core of elite talent, their mandate is clear: win now. This isn't a team with the luxury of patience, of slowly developing prospects in the NHL. Every player, every draft pick, every contract must serve the immediate goal of hoisting the Stanley Cup. It's a philosophy that breeds urgency, but also, at times, difficult decisions. In this environment, even a recently signed player, one who has shown flashes of potential, can quickly become a trade chip, a means to an end in the relentless quest for contention. Enter William Villeneuve, a 23-year-old right-handed defenseman who, despite his steady progress, finds himself on the outside looking in. Drafted 122nd overall in 2020, Villeneuve recently inked a one-year extension with the Maple Leafs on August 5th, a two-way deal worth $775,000 at the NHL level and $75,000 in the minors. This contract, however, isn't a sign of long-term commitment. It's a show-me deal, a clear signal that Villeneuve's future in the organization is far from guaranteed. It's a contract that screams, prove yourself or move on, and it has immediately put him on the radar of other teams, most notably the Edmonton Oilers. For the past 3 seasons, Villeneuve has been a consistent and effective presence on the Toronto Marlies, the Maple Leafs AHL affiliate. He's a 6'2", 195-pound blue liner who has steadily improved his game, particularly in areas like breakouts and offensive creation. Yet, as Josh Cloke of The Athletic aptly noted in late June, despite his steady production, Villeneuve hasn't made himself impossible to ignore. The path to an NHL chance in Toronto looks increasingly unlikely, a harsh reality for a player who has dedicated years to the organization. This lack of a clear NHL path, coupled with the show-me nature of his new contract, makes him an intriguing candidate for a trade or even a waiver claim. Alan Mitchell, another insightful voice from The Athletic, highlighted the unique value of players like Villeneuve, stating on August 11th that quality right-handed defensemen are something close to hockey unicorns. This scarcity makes Villeneuve, even if blocked in Toronto, an attractive commodity for teams in need of defensive depth, especially on the right side. Mitchell's assessment is stark. Villeneuve appears to be on the outside looking in this fall, and is no lock to flourish at the highest level with the Maple Leafs. The message is clear. Opportunity is knocking for another NHL team. The Maple Leafs situation with Villeneuve is a classic example of asset management in a cap-strapped, win-now league. They've invested in his development, seen him progress, but now face the prospect of losing him for nothing if he can't crack the NHL roster and is eventually exposed to waivers. This is where the Edmonton Oilers enter the picture. The Oilers, perennial contenders themselves, are always looking to bolster their depth, particularly on the right side of the defense, whether for their NHL roster or their AHL affiliate. A player like Villeneuve, with his AHL pedigree and the potential for a fresh start, could be a low-cost, high-reward acquisition for them. So, if the Oilers come calling, what would a beneficial trade look like for the Maple Leafs? Toronto isn't looking for futures. They're looking for immediate impact or prospects who align more directly with their current needs. Alan Mitchell, in his analysis, suggested 5 potential players the Oilers could trade at any point in the upcoming season: Stuart Skinner, Matt Savoy, Vasily Podkolzin, Beau Akey, and Maxim Berezkin. Let's dissect these options through the lens of Toronto's win-now philosophy. First, let's immediately rule out Stuart Skinner. While a talented goaltender, the Maple Leafs' net is already solidified with the tandem of Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz. Acquiring another NHL-level goaltender simply doesn't make sense for Toronto's current roster construction. Similarly, Matt Savoy, a promising young winger, doesn't fit the Maple Leafs' immediate needs. Savoy is still looking to prove himself at the NHL level, and the Leafs, as previously emphasized, need proven talent, not projects, to help them contend right now. Their championship window is open, and they cannot afford to wait for prospects to fully mature. This brings us to the more intriguing possibilities, players who could genuinely enhance the Maple Leafs roster or provide a more suitable long-term asset. Vasily Podkolzin stands out as a particularly compelling target. The young Russian forward brings a combination of physicality and youth that is increasingly valued in today's NHL. He led the Oilers with a staggering 211 hits in the 2024-25 season, ranking 25th most in the entire league. For a Maple Leafs team that, despite its offensive prowess, sometimes lacks a consistent physical edge, Podkolzin could be a game-changer. Last season, their top three hitters were Simon Benoit, 204, Steven Lorentz, 199, and Matthew Knies, 182. Adding Podkolzin, a player who can contribute offensively while also bringing a relentless, hard-hitting style, without having to subtract a current roster player, would be a worthwhile gamble. He could slot into a middle six role, provide energy, and make the Maple Leafs a tougher team to play against, especially in the grinding playoff environment. Then there are the prospects, Beau Akey and Maxim Berezkin. Beau Akey is an offensively-minded right-handed blue liner and is considered one of the Oilers' top prospects. While the Maple Leafs are looking for immediate impact, acquiring a high-end defensive prospect, especially one who shoots right, could be a smart long-term play, or even a piece that could be flipped later for another asset. If the Leafs believe Akey's ceiling is higher than Villeneuve's, or that his timeline for NHL readiness is more aligned with their needs, he could be an attractive return. Maxim Berezkin, on the other hand, is a forward prospect who just won the KHL championship but is still without an NHL contract. While his KHL success is notable, his lack of an NHL deal and the uncertainty of his transition to North American hockey might make him a less immediate fit for Toronto's win-now mentality compared to Podkolzin or even Akey. The strategic imperative for the Maple Leafs is clear. They cannot afford to lose William Villeneuve for nothing. His show-me contract and the organizational depth chart mean he is a prime candidate to be moved. Exploring a deal with the Edmonton Oilers presents a unique opportunity to turn a potential loss into a meaningful gain. Whether it's acquiring a physical presence like Podkolzin, who can immediately impact the NHL roster, or a high-upside prospect like Akey, who could be a valuable asset down the line, the Leafs have options. This isn't just about trading a player, it's about optimizing their assets, ensuring that every piece of their puzzle contributes to the ultimate goal. In the unforgiving landscape of the National Hockey League, where every decision is scrutinized and every move carries immense weight, the Toronto Maple Leafs stand at a crossroads with William Villeneuve. The opportunity to turn a potential organizational logjam into a strategic advantage is staring them in the face. Will General Manager Brad Treliving seize this moment, making a shrewd move that bolsters the team's immediate needs or secures a more valuable long-term asset? Or will they risk losing a hockey unicorn for nothing, a decision that could haunt them as their championship window remains wide open? The fate of William Villeneuve, and perhaps a piece of the Maple Leafs' immediate future, hangs in the balance. What do you think? Should the Maple Leafs actively pursue a trade for William Villeneuve? And if so, which Oilers player would be the ideal return to help them in their quest for the Stanley Cup? Share your insights and predictions in the comments below. And if you're as passionate about the strategic chess match of NHL roster building as we are, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis and breaking hockey news.